I'm a reviewer. Let the reviews be joined. Hello once again everyone, your friend Dinobot here for yet another video review. And as you can see, we're going to look at the Transformers Leader class, Generations Leader class, Jetfire. Now, this mold is really cool because if you're a comic book lover like I am, the mold of this figure comes right off the comic books itself. This is actually issue 31 of the Robots in the Sky series. I mostly use this because it's got a great image of him right here on the cover. This is the body he is using currently in the comic book line in Robots in Disguise and More Than Meets the Eye, which I think he does do a couple appearances early on. But he actually, like I said, this is his body he's using now. And in the previous issues of the RID series, or excuse me, IDW series, he was using the Classics Jetfire mold or figure. That's basically the mold they used. Which, speaking of that, we're actually going to compare all those to this guy here in just a moment. Before we get into the main figure here, I want to look at his accessories. First and foremost, let's go with the smallest piece to the biggest. The smallest piece for your accessories for Jetfire is, of course, his little helmet, or faceplate for this one, basically. Battle mask, whichever you want to call it. A great G1 homage into this look. You know, it's got the great visor image. It's got basically the wind vanes or sides here, ears, whichever you want to call them. Great look to it. Very cool. And as I said, we're going to compare this to the Classics mold because basically it's like the evolution from the Classics to this mold. Here's the Classics one. Of course, it's bigger because the way it's designed was designed to go onto a smaller figure, basically a deluxe class, but still basically the same type of look, just a little bit modified. Same type of style, pretty much. Granted, the ears or guns basically on this one move, and it's got a little bit more detail to it, but still same thing. If you want to see more on this, look at my Classics review of this Jetfire, which I've done like 2 on because of the Ripple labels on them as well. But we'll set those aside for now. Then we'll go on to his next piece, which are his next grade up, basically, guns. Here are the guns that you receive with this Jetfire. You actually receive 2 of these. You can see as this one it's all chromed out as the version was released, where you got the other version that's not, and all this is basically black painted, which I'm not sure if you can do that on this chrome. I've seen videos where they've shown you dunking this in some chemicals and dechroming it, or scraping it off, dechroming it, and then repainting it back and everything. But I like the way this is. I might try and do some paint on these at some point. I just ain't decided really yet. I don't know if I want to paint them black or if I want to paint them silver, you know, just to get the little barrel right. But as I said, you get 2 of them. And I compare these to the Classics guns as well, because they're basically the same, not quite the same size, but you can gather from the armor and stuff, you can kind of compare them to it. Granted, you know, this is bigger because it's later class and this is deluxe, but still same basic type of design. I mean, you can actually, looking at it from vertical, this one almost looks almost the same. I mean, really, when you put both of these together, because there are 2 of these, and taking away the double barrel, make it into a single, it can almost be that gun. Not quite, but you know, it's, like I said, this is 2 and it's double barreled and everything. But we'll set these again aside, and we'll go on to the next part, which is the next bigger gun for him. And we're also going to compare it to the Classics Jetfire, which of course these are launchers, missile launchers. These stick on the arms, these stick on the legs actually. So I'm only doing this as size comparison mostly. If you were doing it the other way, you can understand. But again, it's chrome, you know, same red chrome and everything. But we'll put all this armor on here in just a moment. The next piece is, of course, his jetpack or booster rockets, which sit back here on them. Good size for these.
And here's the classics, which again, almost identical in every way. Just a little bit of difference to them. Not great big. I mean, you can actually flip this over, and it actually seems almost similar. I mean, this would have been, I thought, would be pretty cool if they kept the gimmick from the classics and actually had the little turns here as well as you have in that. I mean, can you imagine if you could do that on this one as well, where you had the extra turn, and you know, when he's on his back, you can flip it over, which we'll look at again. That's something else we'll look at here shortly, and have it just like this. It'd be cool. I've actually seen people who have modified this, where they have basically shaved this down, some down here somehow or other, and made it where it fits on to this Jetfire. But we'll go on to the next piece here, or the last piece of weaponry here for Jetfire, which is the only other gun he's got that actually sits awkwardly on him, but it's the only launching one of this set of 5 guns that he carries. Oddly enough, all 5 of these combined form a super gun, which I hate. That's why I'm actually not going to show that. I just don't like the combined gun at all. You can actually, if you really want to, when they're combined, you can actually make it into a little, it kind of resembles like a little fighter or drone ship if you really want to, but I didn't like it, like most people. But on to the next bit. We're actually now going to compare the designs of the 2 Jetfires. Here we have the classics, and here we have the generations. A lot of size difference, of course, but it's very similar design. Very similar to the F-14 Tomcat, basically, which is what the Jetfire basically is resembling. And I mean, you look at the bottom, are both same basic look, aside from a little bit of transformation difference, but still basically the same, almost identical, really. And off of that, let's bring in another one to compare him to, the original G1, which is, again, this is basically the same colors, aside from of course, up on the top of here, you have the paneling here that's different colored. You don't have that here. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a repaint of this come out with the G1 colors like this. You know, have the black and all up in here and stuff like that, like basically back in this area. That'd still be pretty neat. It also plays a little homage to with the front nose cone. How you see the red around the cockpit and the automatic insignia. You got the basic same here, which I really like. You got the same design, basically two wings, of course, 2 tail fins and everything. But let's go on to look at Jetfire himself now. And actually, let's show him armored up with what his, just lost the missile there. It'll be alright. We're going to take the armor here that this Jetfire carries. First gun, these smaller middle size guns actually flip on the wings. Put one there, and then you got these guns here that peg in right here over the leg onto the wheel mount right there. You will put the others here on this side as well. Put this gun on this one, on this wing, and here's the bigger cannon that sits right up front here. And there's Jetfire armored up with the big hunking blaster on the front. Everybody complains about this, and I have to agree, I don't like it much either myself. It looks really weird. I mean, I could see them putting something like this on him, carrying something like this if he needed it for, like him being a scientist and everything, you know, studying, or needed it for extra firepower in some battle or something like that. But it just looks weird. But aside from that, it does look pretty cool with this little bit of armor on. But let's not forget the main armor. To do that, we have to flip these panels down. And these little peg holes here, the booster pops right into place. Great battle up mode. Great homage to the original G1 with all of his armor, but I think we've had enough on the armor that hasn't been already said. Let's jump right into his transformation. You can transform him with the armor on. It's not that difficult. Though, I tend to go ahead and take these off the wings just to make it a little bit simpler to do. The best way to transform them, if you push right here in this area here, you see it pops this all loose, pushes all that down, pull these panels all the way up. You just pop these legs, bend them down a little bit like so. Oh, don't forget to put the landing gear here up on the front nose cone. You can straighten this out some by flipping this panel over with his head. Turn these around like so to there at the bottom, and as you do, when you get down to the point, you can go ahead and turn right there, basically at the hip, straighten those legs out. You then, back here in the back, you can pull these apart for his arms. And one other thing you can do is you can accordion. Well, that's not going to hurt that. That was just me knocking it off. You can accordion this down to here. You can go ahead and accordion the cockpit up to the back, like so. You then take this piece up here, the front body part, panels back, and you want to put those panels down, push, get the arms all the way down behind them. You straighten the arms out and the shoulders, straighten those all up right here too. And one thing I really like about this figure is as you straighten everything up, which I'm not doing, there we go, is that everything pegs into place. Like here, we'll peg right here into the hips, like so. And then here at the shoulders, you got these little pegs here that will peg into the shoulder there as well. On both sides. You can bring out his feet down here at the bottom, which I actually having trouble here with this one. This one's caught a little bit. It's got hung on me a little. Oh, come on now. There we go. And we straighten them out some. You make sure you fold the wings up, in which I popped that panel, that piece there out. Straighten his arms up on both sides. And we have Jetfire robot mode. But we want to finish that by putting his backpack back on, which I need to move this back out of the way to flip, kind of peg it back on there. Straighten that out, flip that back up. She's not wanting to stand straight. There we go. Take his arms, which most people have complained. Everybody has complained about this right here. These open panels on this side, on his forearms, there, and the inside of his legs, the hollowness. These here, I'm not too worried about. These are fine. These here are kind of a little bit of a problem, but I'm not. Again, when you put the guns on like so, they do cover it up, so it's not that bad of a problem. Which I'm locking my guy's arms out of place here. There. Straighten that head up a little bit. There is a fans project or fans toys, I can't remember the exact name of the company, that's bringing out a upgrade kit for this guy where basically this whole section is going to be replaced with a basically new arm, and it's supposed to have articulated fingers. I don't know if that's true. The pictures don't really show that too well. It does look nice, but it's also supposed to be coming out with some missile pods and stuff that you can put like in these 5mm holes there. And last but certainly not least, let's bring his gun, which I have knocked his missile out a little while ago. Plug that in, and we'll get him to hold his main gun here. And his faceplate or battle visor, whichever you want to call it, just slides right up onto him, like so. And there you have Jetfire armored up and ready for battle. Great. This is one of my absolute favorite Jetfires. I love this mod. I was so happy when I finally was able to pick this guy up. I mean, he is just so awesome looking. Like as you know, I'm a huge Jetfire fan. Let me adjust this camera a bit so you can get. There we go. I love the way this guy looks. And real quick here off camera, I'm going to actually transform my classics Jetfire here into his robot mode so we can do a little comparison between these guys. So if you'll just hold with me for just about half a minute here. About got him. I have to admit one thing about some of these figures that is really fun to do is the fact that when you get the hang of transforming them, it doesn't take you but a minute or so to do it. Just like I'm doing here with his classics. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and stick his few weaponry and stuff on him too, so you can see how he looks as well with his on and standing next to big Jetfire here. Just hold for just another few seconds. Just stick it on. Yep. There we go. Get that. He's on his arms. And we'll hand him his other gun. And here is Classics Jetfire. Granted, he is smaller than Deluxe, leader here, but it's, like he said, he's a Deluxe compared to a leader class. I'm also going to do another comparison here with the G1. So if you'll just bear with me for another moment here while I transform the G1 Jetfire here off screen. It'll take me but another moment. I have to say while I'm doing this, the G1 Jetfire was always one of my main favorite figures of the time because of his, being basically a Macross or Robotech look to him. And it's hard to, growing up in the time period I did, you watched Robotech, you watched Transformers, you watched GoBots, you watched all those big robot shows. Gotcha. There we go. And here we have him next to the G1 Jetfire, which he obviously, Jetfire wants to fall over here. Let's get you straightened out some, which I know probably from, might be able to tell a little bit from the images here. There. Stand up, Jetfire. I'm having a little trouble getting him to stand right, but I'm trying to do this real quick, so he's not going to be that much of a problem. Yeah, yes, I don't have his armor on him. It's because his armor is actually put up. Actually, a couple of pieces actually broke on him. He actually fell off the shelf a little while back. A couple of pieces broke. I noticed when he fell, he's actually starting to yellow just a bit. He's got some yellow in here in the forearm, but that's no big deal. A little effort I have to do is clean him up. But great versions here of Jetfire. Trying to bring it back a little bit so you can get all three in focus. Great homage to, I always thought all three of these guys are great homages to each other. Of course, being the leader class, being the homage to the latest one. He's got the G1 colors, he keeps up the G1 spirit, and he's just, I always found it neat that he's basically going up from this body to this body. Getting a little bit stronger, bigger, and everything. Trying to pay a special homage to the original. And speaking of the original, I'm going to bring in one last spot to bring him into. So if you'll just bear with me, let's pay homage to the original or animated look with Kronos back here. Now, as you can see, Kronos is much bigger than the later Jetfire. Bigger than all three, combined, but, well, not combined, but, you get the idea. But still, you got 4 different versions of Jetfire there. 4 of the best versions in my book. Kronos, of course, being my favorite, not of the bunch, but being him homage to the cartoon and everything. But guys, this is going to be my end of my review. I definitely tell you to pick this figure up if you're a fan of Jetfire. If you're a fan of the comics, he is definitely a figure to pick up. I'm not positive. I do believe I saw a thing that with the Combiner Wars coming out, they are going to bring out another figure of this. I don't know if it's going to be the exact replica, what size, or anything he is. I don't know. I doubt he's going to combine or anything, but I do know the same mold for this Jetfire has already been released, repainted as Thundercracker. So if you want to get that mold, you're more than welcome to as well. But as always, guys, I'd like to thank you for watching. And if you will, please like, share, and comment below on this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. On comments and stuff, just tell me what you think. How you like my videos, how you like my how I do them, if you see any improvements or whatever, just let me know. And two last things before I sign out here. I'll ask you guys to go to two websites. One, TF Select. TF Select is a good website you can go to find most good selection of parts and other bots that you might need for your figures. They have a selection from G1 all the way up to Prime and Movieverse and everything. I will post a link to that below. I'll also post a link to the Transmissions Podcast. They are a great group of guys, group of 4 guys, consisting of Charles, Big C, Yoshi, Daryl, but Cybertronic Beast, who also has a YouTube channel, and Yakko, aka Jeremy. I listen to them several times a week, and they're a great group of guys to listen to. I highly suggest you guys check them out. I'll post a link to their channel as well. So please, guys, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll talk to you soon.